Let me pray for us. Father, thank you for your goodness to us. Thank you for letting us study this ancient language. Father, would you help us today? Would you help us have insight? Would you encourage us emotionally as we do a difficult task? And would you make it fun for us? Would you help us as we dive into this ancient language? And we pray all this in Christ's name. Amen. So, excuse me, let's see if we can make this fun for everyone. So I'm just going to call on random people. You translate, read it in Greek, and then translate it. So let's start with this, and we'll start with Haley Smith. What does it? Read this out loud in Greek, and what does it say? Paidion, good. Hellenikon, right? Good. And what does that say, Haley? I am a little Greek boy, and I live in the fields. That's perfect. Noah, can you do this one? Good. That's perfect. What does that say? Perfect. Couldn't do any better myself. Laura Neff, could you do this one? Good. Perfect. Perfect. Christopher, can you do this one? Perfect. What does that say? And let me ask you, would it help if I put it like this? Does this help you at all? Oh, don't do that. Does that help you at all? Yeah, okay, so let's do it that way. So you ask, right? Tismin ego. Who am I? And you've already got the second half. And who is men de? Who am I? Who is Thrasylos? Morgan, what does this say? And what? I will surely tell you. Right. Haley Brown, could you read this one and translate it? If I read it, could you translate it? Teknon gar emi ego tu Thrasylu. So I'll help you with it. What is gar? What is gar, anyone? And what's the weird thing you have to do with gar? It's post-positive, so you got to jump it to here. For Amy ego, I am teknon, I am child, to Thrasylu. So what case is to? And what do you have to add when you have a genitive? Of. For I am child of the throsalos. That's something weird Greek does. They use the word the with names. And if there's a rule when to use it and when you don't, I don't know what that rule is. It seems arbitrary to me, but sometimes it helps with other grammar, but I don't know why some have it and some don't. Good. Kester, can you read this one and translate it? All right. Well, I can help. Well, you can get some of this. What is Chi? And what is Techna? You got it. So here's what Rouse is doing. You already know what Technon is from this sentence. For I am child of Throsalos. So, Kester, do you see that singular? Okay, do you see this has to be neuter plural then? So how would you do that? Children. And what case is ha-os? Like in that chart we memorized, what is osu, o-on, oi, on, ois, us, oi? What would os be? Singular. And is it nominative, genitive, dative, accusative? It's nominative. So that means this, even though it appears last, has to be the subject. So I've got to move this up to my verb. And Throsalos has alla technon, other children. And then these two kind of just particle words, indeed to be sure. And indeed to be sure, Throsalos has other children. I feel like we need to rest. Is your mind hurting a little bit? That's a good thing. You don't want it to hurt too much, but you do want to, you'll get to where you can concentrate a little more. Did anybody have anything cool happen to them this weekend? Georgia won. That was cool for me. What's that? Oh, yeah. Now, who is OU? Oh. And did that hurt as bad for you as the loss to Alabama hurt for me?
Yeah, I was pretty close. I went behind, my living room, when we had the whole house, couch here. I went behind this couch, and I kind of just sat there. So yeah, I get pretty involved in the team, so it's pretty good.
Me too. I was screaming when Sonny Michelle walked in. I started screaming, "We're going to the national championship! We're going to the national championship!" And then 4 weeks later, the next to the last play of the game, and you've put in a guy who has not took one competitive snap the whole year, and the guy beats you. I just stood there. I was just like stunned.
My family usually doesn't watch games with me because I get really into it. So they said, "We watch this with you, cannot start throwing it." So I had to sit there and just hold it.
I can't watch games with my friends, particularly if they're pulling for another team. I mean, everybody, oh, come over and watch the game, and it's like I would rather die than come over and watch the game because it's just too important to watch. You know, that's how I feel. But yeah. It's not that I want to be mean-spirited. It's just I get too caught up in it and just can't. I can't be polite, you know, when I'm crushed or that excited, and I don't. So, and I had a friend, I had a very close friend one time, and my parents used to go to the ball games, and they got some extra tickets, and we were living near the place where Georgia was going to play, and they said, "Do you want to come?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "We've got 2 other tickets. If you know anybody else who wants to come, they can come." And so I invited 2 of my friends, and they were pulling for the other team, and it's like every other sentence was, Georgia is terrible, and it's like, really? And Georgia ended up beating the team, and like that guy and I haven't talked to each other in like 10 years, and it's like, I didn't mean for that to happen, but I don't know. I still get emails from it, so maybe there's maybe that relationship can be restored, but there's hope. Okay, so we cleared our mind. Bryn, could you read this one? And what does that say? That's exactly right. And do you feel that "and" is kind of awkward there? Can you feel that? So if "and" feels awkward, try "even." For even I am. I mean, I'll count it right if you put "and," but like if Kai doesn't work as "and," try "even," and usually it'll be very smooth. I was thinking the other day, Bryn, I have a great grandmother who was a Davidson. I'll bet way back we're related somehow. I've been doing genealogy stuff, and it's amazing how, you go back so far, and like everybody's related to everybody else. So it's kind of interesting. Carlos, can you read this one and translate for us? Adelphon. Good. What does that say? Right. Have. I have. Yeah, and the te is post-positive, so move it and translate it both and. So you want a mnemonic device for echo? I have an echo. So picture yourself in a cave shouting, "I have an echo, 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 echo." And that's going to remember I have. I mean, it's a mnemonic device. It's a way to remember something. When I was in undergraduate, I had psychology class, and we had to do a demonstration. And if you can remember what the house you grew up in looks like, can you remember like the main house you grew up in? If you picture walking in the front door and turning to the left of that house, start numbering places, rooms, places, you can memorize a long list of information just associated with a place in your house. That's a mnemonic device. That's an ancient mnemonic device. So I remember trying to do the presidents that way, and I think the 11th president is Polk, but I'm not sure. It's been a long time. But I pictured all these Polk beans between 2 sidewalks, that make 11. So it's like, 11. So mnemonic device, you're just getting a way to get it from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. And so echo, for me, I have an echo. Good. And Lauren, can you do this one? Read it in Greek and then translate it. That's right. Onema Zeusin, or Zeusi. Thrasumakon. Thrasumakon. All right, so the trick with these verbs is sometime very soon we're going to learn this chart. O, ace, a, amen, eti, usi. Say that with me. O, ace, a, amen, eta, usi. With that chart, you can take any verb and add those endings, and it will turn it into I am, you are, he, she, or it is, we are, you are, they are. Right? So all we've got to figure out is what onoma means. So, do you know in English the term onomatopoeia? What does that mean? A word whose name is what it is. So what would you guess onomazo means? Name. So what would onomazousi be? They named, and the me goes, the nominative is ego, emu, emoi, eme, and eventually it just came to be mu, moi, me. I wonder where we got the term me from. Comes straight from Greek, right? So, Lauren, what would that say? Right, they named me, and if you don't know what it means, you can just spell it out. Thrasumakon. Make means battle. Thrasus means bold, so what bold battler? You ever think about names if you're going to have children? Do you ever think about that? You know, if you have children, going to have, or do you not think about that ever? Okay, so I really wanted to name one of my kids Telemachus. And my wife just nixed that and said that kid would get beaten up all the time. But Telemachus means the end of Make. So what does it mean? Like that guy shows up and what happens? The battle's over. Now that's a cool name, isn't it? Telemachus. I also lobbied for Winston because I'm a big Winston Churchill fan, and my wife said it's associated with cigarettes, and she was probably right. And she was right about Telemachus too, but I do think it's a cool name, the ender of battle, Telemachus. What's that? So my oldest girl is Elise Michelle, and Elise is a short form of Elizabeth, which means something like God is my oath, or God is my promise. And Michelle is the French form of Michael, which means it's a question, who is like God? And the answer is nobody's like God. And then my oldest son is Jonathan, the gift of Yahweh. Natan is give, and Yo is the abbreviation of Yahweh. And then we went with a king's name for his middle name, Richard, Jonathan Richard. And then my next son is Christopher, the Christos, which means what would you think? Christ. And Pharaoh means carry. So what does Christopher mean? Bearing Christ into the world. And since we gave Jonathan a king's middle name, we gave Christopher a king's middle name, William. And Christopher William, my dad's name is C.W. Davis, and so he liked that we've got another C.W. Davis. And then we have twin girls. The oldest one is Abigail Suzanne, and Abigail means the grace of my father, but we call her Abby, which means my father. And we didn't do that as an ego thing, but it just we liked the way it sounds. So she's Abby. And then her sister is Alexa Grace. And Alexa comes from Alexandros, which means the protector of men. And then Grace is Grace. And Suzanne is she who's graceful with horses. So, and do your parents have cute little names for you? What do they don't? Do you want to share that name or not want to share?
I don't know how they have one for me. And my brother, they call me Ditto. I'm not really sure why. It's just anytime they try to embarrass me, they're being super weird. They'll just when I was leaving for college, my mom was like, "Oh, Ditto," and I was like, "No, I can't wait till I hear that." And then they call my brother Sweetie, which is really misleading.
Oh, that's funny. So I call my two little twin girls Abikins. That's her little sweet name for me. And you'll like this as a Greek teacher. What's my little sweet name for Alexa going to be? Her little sweet name is Alexicon. Abikins and Alexicon. My roommate in college, everybody called him Pee-wee. And we'd all known each other since we were little kids, and so he was just Pee-wee, and he grew to be 6 feet tall, but everybody called him Pee-wee. And for his wedding present, we all gave him never to call him Pee-wee again. So he's David. So that was a nice gesture, I think. And just to clear our minds, do you know the standard Greek lexicon is called Liddell and Scott? Did you know that? The Liddell and Scott lexicon? And did you know that the Liddell of Liddell and Scott is Alice Little's grandfather? And Alice Little is the Alice of Alice in Wonderland? So Carol's neighbor was the Liddell of Liddell and Scott, and so that's his granddaughter, who's Alice in Wonderland. So probably so. I don't know what they are.
If I remember correctly, Alice Liddell accidentally shot her mother when she was a kid. When that she accidentally shot and killed her mom.
Wow.
Something horrible like that.
I did not know that.
I could be wrong. It's more than likely. I remember
We all have dark issues. You start kicking around your closet okay, let's not go there.
I think all the old stories that used to tell us along with the Little Mermaid kind of stuff, that all, if you know it's original, it's so creepy. It's all
Original Sleeping Beauty is the worst.
Yeah. And that's what kind of surprises me. Just kind of took such a dark thing and created such a good thing with it. I don't understand why.
But then they would also these poor children who are
Yeah, it's going to be a fairy tale.
My world religion teacher in high school would these kids would let his daughters watch Beauty and the Beast because he joked that it was that promoted bestiality. I mean, it was a joke, but it was
Yeah.
kind of the more you thought about it,
It is weird. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to try to volume read. So here's the good news. The bad news is we're learning something that's difficult. The good news is you know the exact questions that are going to be on the midterm and the final come November. So it means all we've got to do is get where we just are able to translate 100 sentences. And we can do anything. Let's volume read. Ego men Amy Paidion Hellenikon Oiko de Inagros. What does that say, everyone? On the one hand, I'm a little Greek boy. On the other hand, I live in the fields. For there in the fields is a certain farmer, Thrasylos, who, right, and you can say farms for this, that's okay, who farms and has a little chorion. And if you put a chorion, I'm going to count that right, because I think that's what Rouse wants us to do until we get to what is a chorion. It's a small chora. Yeah, go with that. Go with that. Yeah. Who Georges and has a chorion. So all we've got to get that sentence is to guess what George means. Farms. A gay ergos. An earth worker. What does this one go as? So you ask, on the one hand, who am I? On the other hand, who is Thrasylos? Lego day. We'll get to the place where that's a joke, and you'll just say, the answer to any question will be Lego day. I will surely tell you. Technogar emi ego to Thrasylos. For I am child of Thrasylos. Kai main ala ga eke techna. And Thrasylos, to be sure, has many other children. Kagar egoimi technon autu. For even I am his child. And I echo. I have both a brother and a female brother, right? Isn't that what it says? Right? And they onomatsu me on the one hand. Bold battler. And my Adelphon, they name Bold Mouth. And they name my sister Helen. Most beautiful woman in antiquity. What's that like to name your little daughter Miss America? Well, no, Miss Universe. Well, who are you? I'm Miss Universe. My face launched it.
It didn't work out very well for Helen.
No, it didn't. It didn't. Esmen un techna to Thrasylos. We are the children of Thrasylos. So it goes Amy, A, Esti, Esmen, Esther, that's right. I would say that AC. You can put it there or not, so they call it a removable nu. And it depends on if the next word starts with a vowel, you want to put it there. But you'll find it spelled both ways. I'll count it right if you write it either way. If you put parentheses around it, I'll think, this student so knows these charts. And I love being able to grade a midterm by looking at a page and saying, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. That's so satisfying to be able to do that. And that's going to happen for you guys. Espendekai tes euridikes techna. So this is new, but Rouse thinks you can guess what this sentence means. Yeah, and we are. The is there. Children's at the end, and then we got a proper name. It's their mother. So what does their mother's name? Euridike. Okay, dike means justice, and Euro is where we get Europe from, and Europe means the broad place. Broad justice. What does that mean? Yeah. Euridike.
Do you not pronounce the
Sorry? Oh, you do in the genitive, right. Euridike would be the nominative, and euridicase be the genitive, and euridike with the neota would be the dative. Well, if you're translating it, do you translate her name in the nominative, or do you translate her name in the genitive? Yeah. I'm going to count it right either way. But I think the standard practice is to give the nominative form of the name. But either way, you're going to be right. Do you know what Socrates' wife's name was? Xanthippe. So evidently she was kind of a shrewish woman. She was really hard to get along with. So people will say that's a xanthipic relationship, and that's where, like, okay, her name means the blonde horse. I'm thinking, why? Why in the world would you name your daughter the blonde horse? Or maybe I'm but xanthos means blonde and hippos means horse, so xanthippos looks like it would be the blonde horse to me, but
No wonder she was shrewish.
yeah. You wonder. Yeah. 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 Okay. So where do we live? Where? Estin de Corion in Agrois. We can guess that. We can guess every single one of those words. What is Estin? Amy A. Estin, Esmin Esta Asen. What is Estin? That would be Esmin. He is, or she is, or it is. I think here it means there is. There is a little land, a little Corion in Agrois. Little Corion. And in the Corion, there's an oikia. Little house. And we oikumen, o-ase, amen eta usen. And this is, the umen is a contract, so if the verb ends in a vowel, sometimes these vowels will do little weird things. That's what's going on with oikao. But if oika means house, what would you think oikao means? What would you think? We live. Do you see how you got that? We live in te oikia. We live in the house. But thrasalos georges in the choreo. Good. So you ask, te estin chorion. So you ask, what is a chorion? And what am I going to say? Now he wants us really to be dumb. It's not obvious, so it's not obvious? Thank you. What do you call the Harry Potter people when they talk to Snape and what do you call it? Headmaster or whatever? Well, that's who Rouse is, and we're all 14-year-old little children. He's saying, isn't it evident? Hageorgos eke chorion. The farmer Echo has a chorion, and the chorion is a topos. What word in English do we get from topos? Topography, which is the writing about places. So what is topos? Is a place in which a georges. That's obvious, right? A chorion is a place where a georges. For on the one hand, a chora is a topos, is a place, and a chorion is a chora mikra. A little place. Do you see what he's doing? He's telling us, you can guess what all these words are. And the thing is, when you look at Greek, you say, I could never guess that. But when somebody tells you 30% of the Greek language, it comes straight into English. You know thousands of Greek words right now already. Then you start getting where you'll guess, and then it becomes easy. So a chora is a place, and a chorion is a small chora. So help me with this. If an omega is a big O, what would an omicron be? A little o. Big O, little o. What begins with O? David Donald do dreamed a dozen donuts and a duck dog too. That's where they're getting all this stuff from. They just learned Greek and they started thinking like this. Lego de hutos. I say, hutos is thus. Epede uk e su Hellenikon paidion. Now I want you to imagine that you could win $10,000 if you could guess this right. I wish I had that kind of money to give away, but imagine, okay, if I guess this right, what would you guess this sentence would say? Have you done this in your homework, or is this completely new? Okay, so imagine you could win $10,000 if you could guess this sentence right. Twix bar. If I had one, maybe I'll bring one tomorrow or Wednesday. All right, so what does this say? We're going to guess. We're going to own this sentence. What is ook? Not. What is a? Amy, Estin, Esmin, Esta. Okay, yeah. A is if, and A is all right, so what does it say? You are not a little Greek boy. Oh, I can see you're going to cash in. You're going to cash in. You're going to guess this. Don't look it up. Guess. Make yourself guess. give you a clue. Okay, in Greek, well, what does host mean? We've had it in vocabulary. Have we not had it in vocabulary? As. Okay, so this is the word beautiful, right? What would you think, and this is the ending, right? What would you think that would mean, kalos? Beautiful as, okay, that doesn't really, as beautiful. So in Greek, this is how you take an adjective and turn it into an adverb. Well, what's an adverb? Beautifully. Okay. So this is the word this, right? So what would you think hutos, if this means this? Based on our analogy. Beautiful, beautifully. This, thus. I mean, literally, it's thisly, right? But that won't work. So, thus. So, what does?
Thus I say.
And thus I say. And what's that? On the other hand, I say. And we have no idea what this word is, right? But we know the rest of the sentence says, you are not a little Greek boy. And we're going to make a great guess, a guess worthy of nobility. Because after all, it's only nobility that gets to come to Hogwarts, right? So what is this? We're going to make a great guess at paid dad. It's definitely kind of. I'm talking this way. Blank. You are not a little Greek boy because. And if we looked it up, it would give us the definition since. But did you see you're within the semantic domain because you were able to guess the semantic domain just by knowing the other words. I talk like this since you're not a little Greek boy. Does that help you feel beaten down? Because did you know in Britain that, like the movies we have, did you know that they have different endings in Britain? So I'll never forget being in a theater in England, and it was a movie I had seen, where in the end, the guy who's dead, miraculously comes back, and in England, the ending is the guy died. Their Frosty the Snowman story is this sad song, and and then the end, the little boy runs out and there's a puddle, and he just goes like that, and boom, the end. That's their version of Frosty. So it's kind of a British thing of, 2 world wars and kind of let's take the negative view versus, optimism and everything. And so part of education is feeling beaten down a little bit. We've got to help you realize that you're not quite as smart as you think you are. I don't know. I don't respond to that myself. I remember when my Greek teacher made a big deal about me getting something right, and I remember sitting there, and it was the first moment I thought, can be a good student. I remember processing that, and so I want to encourage, not discourage. Ara Daylon Soy Nun Estin Ha Lego. Well, you get the idea that you may be able to guess these words, right? And then you go back and volume read. On the one hand, I'm a little Greek boy. Say it with me. And on the other hand, I live in the fields. For there in the fields, a certain farmer who Georges and has a chorion. So you ask, Timin ego tis de hathrosos? Who am I and who is throsos? Lego de. Technagar emi ego tu throsolu. Kai main ala ga eke techna ha throslos. To be sure. 4. Ego emi technonel 2. Kai echo adelph tekai adelphe. Of a brother and a feminine brother. No, I have a brother and a sister.
Does it really translate to feminine brother or is it like a sibling?
Yeah, I mean it's the Greek word for sister, but you can see how they're doing. We do brothers completely different, and they did it masculine adelphos and feminine adelphos.
I only ask because like Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, but is that
Sib.
is that like brother and then you just add the female in there?
Right, it's really sisterly. Philadelphia is the word, so I mean it technically would be sisterly love. Yeah, and that's kind of like friendship, like philosophia, loving. So it is playing with those words. Anamazu si de ema men frasumakon. And they name me Bold Battler. And they name my brother Boldmouth. And the sister, they name Helen. Therefore, we are the children of Thrasos. Also, Eurydice. Where do we live? Where? There's a chorion in the fields. And in the chorion, a house. And we oikeo in the house. And we house in the house. And Thrasolos, Georges in the chorion. So you ask, te est in chorion. Ara u Daylon? Ha Georga. And Rouse, when he was conducting this, he's not using English words in his class. He's asking these questions in Greek. He's only speaking Greek. Ha Georgos eke chorion. Ta de chorion tapos estin in ho George Georgos. Choramingar estin tapos kai chorion esti chora mikra. Are you getting where you can hear that a little? Like, you don't even have to translate it. You just kind of, you're starting to, that's what Rouse is trying to get us to do. Lego de hutos epede uk e su Hellenica paidion. And we're going to do great on the midterm, right? Because we're studying for it in September. That's how you can conquer in any class, okay? So Greek isn't hard. It's just something you've got to do every single day. That's the complete trick to Greek. Just do it every single day. And if you do it every single day, that 17-page midterm is going to be triumph. You are going to triumph on it. But the thing is, you want to plan on going watch a movie the night before because you already know the stuff backwards and forwards, right? And I'm going to help you get there. Isn't that great? So I'll see you on Wednesday.